Although Grand Theft Auto 5 is thought of as a lighthearted game, weird secrets can be found all over the map. Once you get out of Los Santos, the world starts to quiet down, and you run into fewer people. It feels pretty lonely up here. It's almost like there's two different worlds within Grand Theft Auto. The game itself, and then the weird and the unsettling. That's what I want to talk about in this video. So today, we'll look at a handful of creepy places found in Grand Theft Auto 5. We'll start with the Altruist camp. Located high up within the Chiliad Mountain State Wilderness, the Altruist camp is home to the Altruist cult. The camp itself is far away from most other people, and when you're there, you can feel the isolation. The Altruists are mostly older hicks who believe all of their problems come from the generations that come after them, much like the baby boomers in real life. They also have a disdain for technology and clothing. Many of them are not wearing shirts or pants. Altruism is supposed to mean the unselfish concern for the well-being of others, but this cult is anything but well-meaning. In the story, the Altruists are hostile to Franklin and Michael, but not Trevor. Trevor can take people to the camp and hand them over to the cultists in exchange for cash. Why does this cult need random people? Well, they're cannibals. The people you hand over to them are never heard from again. You can find news articles that describe disappearances happening in the Chiliad Mountain State Wilderness area that are probably connected to the cult. There are no known escapees. The Altruists themselves are more on the weird side than the creepy in the story mode. It's a lonely place, one far from anywhere useful. The player has no reason for ever being up there. It doesn't feel like a place people should be. It's just desolate. Bigfoot might be the most famous Easter egg in GTA 5. As a nod to the myth of Bigfoot in San Andreas, Rockstar added a mission to hunt the monster into GTA 5. You have to complete this mission as Franklin, and after shooting Bigfoot, the creature will ask to be put out of its misery. Instead, Bigfoot is revealed to be a LARPer in a suit. Before being unmasked, the idea of Bigfoot wandering the woods left me on edge. Unlike the Altruist camp, the woods have all kinds of animals, yet it still feels empty. The Sasquatch is teased earlier in the game during the mission Predator. Inside the thermal scope, you can see him briefly before he runs away. This builds tension and makes the player feel uneasy in the woods. It feels like something could be watching you. The reveal that Bigfoot is nothing but a random guy kind of ruins it for me, and it takes away all of the tension in the forest, even if it's not the most visited location. It was a cool idea that Bigfoot may have actually been out in the woods. After you 100% the game and collect all of the peyote plants, you can actually trip balls and turn into the Sasquatch, which is cool, I guess. If you go up on Mount Gordo to this specific spot between 11 o'clock and midnight, you'll see the ghost of a woman. On the ground below her is the word Jock written in blood. This is the spirit of Jolene Cranley Evans. She was the wife of Jock Cranley. The couple were from Sandy Shores, and Jock had dreams of being a stuntman. Jolene did not want to leave Blaine County, so one day while the two were hiking up Mount Gordo, Jock threw his wife off the side of a cliff, killing her. Afterwards, he moved to Los Santos and followed through on his dream of being a stuntman. And during the events of the game, 30 years later, he is running for governor of San Andreas. His wife's spirit still haunts the mountain, decades after her death, since she never received the justice she deserved. The ghost's face looks terrifying. Blood falls down her cheeks and her mouth is wide open. Getting too close makes her disappear. With the enhanced version of the game, you can hear her ghostly voice and the moments before she died. Imagine running into this in the middle of the night if you didn't know she was there. This is one of the more terrifying things you can find in the game. The things that can be found in the ocean are terrifying. It's one of those places that feel absolutely isolated. It takes up so much of the world. Like I covered in a previous video, Rockstar prefers infinite oceans to invisible walls for their maps. This gives the ocean a foreboding atmosphere. The player cannot survive out there for long like a fish out of water, or rather, a person in water. Sharks prowl the ocean, and unlike the clunkiness of the player, they're a fast killing machine that can come out of nowhere. Past the little bit of the ocean floor that exists near the land, the oceans are so deep you can't make it to the bottom without dying. It's dark in the ocean as well, and once those sharks start spawning, you can be killed from a million different directions. There's very few vehicles that can take you underwater too, so for the most part, you're just swimming around. It definitely feels like you're not supposed to be there, and what you find in the water reinforces that. Whale skeletons can be found all over the oceans of GTA. These things are absolutely gigantic. It makes you feel like you're tiny. In my mind, it makes me wonder what killed these gigantic creatures. Did they die of natural causes, or is there something out there that killed them? And if something killed killed them, then is it still around? When you look out into the foggy water, it's easy to wonder if something's out there. It's not just whales that can be found in the ocean either. There's cargo planes and, more interestingly, UFOs. If you guys want me to do a whole video about Grand Theft Auto's oceans, let me know in the comments. One last thing about the ocean. On the northern part of the map, near some of the islands above Paleto Bay, 8 bodies can be found underwater. These bodies are connected to GTA's most infamous serial killer, the Infinity Killer. Through a newspaper report from 2004, we learned that Merle Abrahams, the suspected Infinity Killer, passed away last night in Bolingbroke Penitentiary while awaiting trial for abduction and torture. Abrahams, 57, was suspected to be responsible for the Infinity murders, a series of disappearances that happened 5 years ago. Police believed the 8 victims, who were all single young men who were killed while jogging, were all murdered by the same person, and had circumstantial evidence linking Mr. Abrahams to the victims. No bodies were ever found, and Abrahams never confessed, although he did admit to a weird obsession to the number 8. What we learn from this is that the suspected killer never confessed to the murders, and interestingly, none of the bodies were ever found. Well, until we find them. His burnt out house can still be found in Sandy Shores. Here we can find schizo babble concerning the number 8, and a pair of jogging shoes hang from the ceiling. In the newly added Court Center heist, we can see a similar pair of shoes hanging from the sewer. Are these things related? Not only that, did Merle Abrahams really do it? These are questions that were never answered, and ones that will most likely remain unanswered. The last place we're going to look at is the abandoned motel. Unlike the Infinity Killer or the ghost of Mount Gordo, there is no major secret happening here. The motel is just another business that withered away in Sandy Shores. The rooms are still standing, the walkways are still accessible, and the pool is still in the center of the courtyard, but the people are long gone. For me, it's like you can almost see what this place used to look like before it fell into disrepair. You can almost imagine people walking the halls and rooms. Instead today, there is just rubble and the occasional motorcycle club or homeless person. Most of these mysteries never received a complete explanation. The Infinity Killer's victims still remain forgotten underwater. Jolene still haunts Mount Gordo, and abandoned places like the motel continue to decay, while the rest of the world moves on. Even mysteries that do receive an explanation, like Bigfoot, still make the wilderness feel like something could be hiding just outside your view. Alone in the trees, ocean, or sands, the player never really feels safe. Beneath the bright colors and chaos is a much quieter and stranger world that most players drive past without ever noticing. And even after more than a decade, it still feels like there could be something else hidden out there, waiting for someone to find it. So let me know if you enjoyed this video. If you made it this far, hit the like button. I appreciate any support.